Good morning, guys. What is going on? Happy Wednesday. Good to see everybody. Mr. Leo Lustig in the chat. We have Chris Hanley, Game with Smokey Dan. What's up, man? Dom G, Master Bites. Good to see you. Let's see. Chris Hanley. I already said that. Dumpster Fire. Good to see you, buddy. Patrick Guyan, Boinker, Steven Cicero. Good to see you, buddy. Yeti, my man. Appreciate you. How are you this morning? Let's see. Cape Cod Crypto, my man. Good to see you. All right. Let's get into this. So, we got some Ledger drama today. Apparently, they actually ended up retracting their recover service for a little bit. So let's see how the market is, and we'll get into that. 26,728 Bitcoin. We have 1817 Ethereum. Not too shabby. Real quick, if the music's too loud or anybody wants to turn it down, just let me know, please. I'm gonna open up this. Give me 1 second. My thing's all messed up from the Dynex interview yesterday. What'd you guys think about that, by the way? Hopefully you guys liked that. I'm just trying to get everything back into the swing of things. I'm trying things without the purple light. I wanted to see how that looked on camera. So let me know if you guys like that or not. Crypto bubbles. Let's see what we got for the day. Oh, damn. Everything's real red in the day, huh? That's crazy. PLS. What is that? Pulsar? 21.6. What is this? I don't even know what this one is. Actually, maybe that's not Pulsar. I have no idea. Damn, Hex 18.9. Why is everything so far down today? That's crazy. Man, brutal. Dogecoin 7 cents. LTC 86. Look, man, that's really shitty. All right, I'm gonna try not to blind you guys. Let's see how this looks. Fear and Greed Index at 50. Neutral again still. Top 10 coins. Bitcoin, Ethereum. We have Tether, BNB, USD Coin, XRP, Cardano, Lido Staked Ether, Dogecoin, and Polygon. And yeah, everything looks pretty good. Let's see 24 hours here. Look at that, Ton coin. Ton coin's at $2. Is that unheard of for Ton? I don't even know. Congrats to everybody that mined Ton for the short time that we could. I know Mr. Matt Electron has a bag of this. Hopefully that paid off, buddy. We have Synthex Network, IOTA, Kava, Qcoin, Tether. Nice. I mean, some things are kind of up, but there's a lot, man. This is terrifying. I can't believe everything's red. It's just brutal. I didn't look at it at all before the stream. All right, let's check out this. Hold on, where is it? I have a tab here somewhere. Right here. All right, Ledger has announced it will pause the rollout of its recover service. How crazy is that? It says the crypto wallet company also said that it will open source its code. What? I didn't read that. Maybe I should have read that a little better. What the hell is that? Why would they open source its code? Yeti, look at that. That can't be good. The news comes after widespread concerns about Ledger's new service. All right, look at this, right? Oh, well, for one, this is hysterical. Dude, smashing it. Smashing the Ledger. RIP. RIP Ledger. I mean, it's pretty sad you have to do that for views, but it's funny. Anyways, this is kind of where, you know, things go bad for Ledger. Ben Armstrong, okay, regardless of how you feel about him, he's more or less one of the biggest in the crypto space, okay? Biggest channels, period. Like, that's how it is, all right? So, regardless how you feel about BitBoy, this is his tweet. We no longer support Ledger after they decided to be okay with sharing your keys with the government. Here are the best alternatives, cold and soft. You can choose from whatever, but they just no longer support Ledger. When you have this many views, 83,000 views, and you know all this bullshit, it can't be good for the company. So I wouldn't be surprised if that is why, you know, Coin Bureau, Ledger put this out, and you know, obviously for Coin Bureau to tweet to us. So shout out to Coin Bureau, my man over there, Mr. Guy. Let's see what he has to say today. He actually broke down the entire Ledger debacle, and it's a video completely on this Ledger hardware wallet, everything we need to know. So let's see what he has to say. I always like to hear his opinion, and he's a very good YouTuber. So if you guys would go like and subscribe, I'll leave a link down there for Mr. Guy over at Coin Bureau, but I want to hear what he has to say about this whole thing. So let's get into it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat, and we'll go from there. Let's do it. Let me turn down this music and turn him up. All right.
Are hardware wallets really as safe as we think they are? The recent Ledger debacle has left many of us asking that exact question. Do we really have to trust hardware wallet manufacturers, and are they merely one upgrade away from being able to extract our private keys? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to be going through
Ruh-roh.
in this video, so you don't want to go anywhere. Before we can dive into the weeds of hardware wallets in general, it's important to have a bit of backstory on what exactly happened with Ledger. It was a little over a week ago that the company unveiled its Recover service. This is an opt-in feature that allows you to recover access to your device should you lose your seed phrase, that 12 or 24-word sequence of random words you're given when setting up the device for the first time. Now, this service works by splitting your seed phrase into different pieces or shards. These shards are then sent to 3 trusted third parties: Ledger, CoinCover, and a third provider.
Which they will not provide the name of, which is kind of sketchy, to be honest.
If ever you were to lose access to your seed, then at least 2 of these 3 service providers could help you recover it, all for the low cost of only $9.99 a month. Sounds great, right? Well,
Wrong.
That's until you find out 2 very important details. Firstly, in order to use this feature, you need to provide ID of some sort. So, you already need to trust that this information won't get out or be shared with someone else.
Trust me, bro.
But what really caused alarm bells to start ringing was the idea that a seed phrase could, in fact, be extracted from the device in the first place. That runs contrary to everything that people had thought about hardware wallets. That the private key would remain on the device and could never be exposed or extracted in any way. The uproar was swift and merciless. Polygon Labs' Chief Information Security Officer said on Twitter, quote, "The problem here is that the encrypted key parts are sent to 3 corporations and they can reconstruct your keys." Popular crypto Twitter personality DC Investor said, quote, "WTF are you guys doing? This is going in the wrong direction fast. I would recommend no one upgrade to such firmware." Many
Agreed.
others were a lot less generous with their choice of words. And on
Real quick, I'm going to put a poll in the chat. I want to know if you guys did this Recover service at all. Like if you did the upgrade, but actually, is it even possible? See, this is something I don't even know. Is it possible to go through this upgrade even though you don't pay the $10 a month? Like, can you opt in or I guess okay the update without paying for it? I don't know. Let me know. I'm going to put it in the chat. I just want to see what you guys would say about that.
On the first day of the Recover service's release, Ledger was in pure PR firefighting mode. They decided to hold a Twitter Spaces on release day and were at pains to point out that this was only opt-in and people didn't have to use it if they didn't want to. Moreover, users could decline to install the firmware update which carried this new feature. However, this all raised more questions than it answered. For one, would Ledger be providing a separate firmware upgrade that did not include this feature? They couldn't just expect users not to upgrade in perpetuity. Eventually, their ledgers would go out of date and wouldn't support certain apps. But perhaps the far more pressing question that came from this was whether Ledger had the ability to issue a firmware upgrade that could extract a private key.
And that's the
Essentially, are our private keys one poisoned firmware update away from being exfiltrated? How much trust should we place in Ledger's handling of their firmware upgrades? For one thing, it's not as though Ledger has the best record when it comes to storing customer data.
Womp womp. Ledger data leak. A simple mistake exposed 270,000 crypto wallet buyers. That's terrible. Ledger wallet users face mounting home invasion and other scareware threats as hacker dumps private customer information online. Terrible. That was in December 2020.
Hack of its database and subsequent leak of customer records in 2020 is not easily forgotten. And even if we do fully trust Ledger, what happens if the company is subpoenaed? What if a government agency forces them to issue a firmware upgrade that builds in the backdoor functionality?
You guys want to take guesses in the chat? You guys want to take guesses on what would happen if this actually happened? Would they give over your seed phrase? Yeah, they would. Absolutely. Why wouldn't they?
Now, the backlash only got worse for Ledger the following day. Statements from the company on Twitter only seemed to make an already dire PR situation worse. That's because previous statements had been made that stated that the private key never left the secure element chip. In a tweet from November of last year, Ledger had said, quote, "A firmware upgrade cannot extract the private keys from the secure element."
Oh, hold on. Wait, what? It just said, wait, it's saying it can't? November 15th? What is happening? This is in November they said this? And now all of a sudden it can? I'm so confused.
Extract the private keys from the secure element. Yikes. All of this raises some important questions, not only about Ledger devices, but about hardware wallets more broadly. So, let's start with perhaps the biggest misconception that we all had, that no key data is ever able to leave the device. Now here, I'm going to lean on this tweet thread by Hasib Qureshi, the managing partner at Dragonfly Capital, a crypto investment fund. He presented these two infographics for us. This one is how we used to think hardware wallets like Ledger's worked. This one is how they actually work. Now, the secure element chip is like a small computer that also holds Ledger's operating system. This means that Ledger's firmware upgrades can affect the way things function inside the secure element. So, it can be programmed to send back anything that's requested. Now, this is actually required in order for the device to upgrade and support newer chains.
I mean, that makes sense that it's required, but that's insane. That's weird. So it can literally do anything that it's sent to do. I mean, it makes sense, right? It's at the end of the day, it's software, so I get it. But again, the fact of the matter here is what we don't know won't hurt us. Why the hell are you scaring the shit out of everybody? That's the problem. It's the way they did it. And just now knowing the fact that this is possible when it wasn't even a thought in our brains, that's the big picture here. It's stupid on their part. And then having to KYC and, potentially they would give over your seed phrase if you were ever subpoenaed for some reason. It's ridiculous.
To upgrade and support newer chains. Whenever there's a new app being installed on the device, it will, in principle, be able to extract private key data. That's because, in order to support these new chains, they'll need to create a new key that's derived from the master key on the device. Now, I'll also leave a link to the thread by Ledger's CTO in the description for you, as it goes into the mechanics in much more detail. As he makes clear in that thread, using a hardware wallet requires a, quote, minimal amount of trust. This means that every time you've had to approve an upgrade on a Ledger device, you've had to have trust. And as we all know, trust is a dirty word in crypto. It goes against the ethos on which trustless blockchains are built. Moreover,
all right, so I don't know. I want to ask you guys, do you guys typically update your hardware wallets, ledgers, whatever? Doesn't matter what it is, just in general. Or did you put the stuff on there and just, leave it? Personally, I don't update it at all unless I have to. Or unless I'm trading funds, when you plug it in, it updates on its own. But that's just how it is. But overall, if you're not updating, obviously you're at this moment you're more safe, but it still sucks that it's like a hey, trust me, bro type of thing, right? With all these companies now that this is kind of exposed. It's just weird.
Moreover, as I mentioned earlier, it's not about trust in Ledger per se, but trusting that they won't have to comply with any sort of government requests.
I'm so happy you just said that. I hope Max Voltage is here. Somebody clip this and send that to him, please. Thank you.
Now, Ledger's co-founder and ex-CEO created a Reddit post where he addressed the debacle and said that technically governments could recover the shards and, quote, get access to your funds.
And that's not just some bullshit guy. That is the ex-founder or co-founder of Ledger and the ex-CEO. So that's not just like Joe Schmo down the street that had something to say about it.
Caveat, though, that this was in the context of the recover shards and not the issuance of poisoned updates. But surely the principle should be the same. In a recent podcast, the current CEO also waved that subpoena concern away by saying that it's, quote, not that common. However, he was reminded that Coinbase was recently subpoenaed for something as simple as customer data. I'll leave a link to that podcast in the description for you folks. Now, one of the reasons for this miscommunication and subsequent PR disaster is that Ledger's code is closed source. Users were never able to peer into the repositories and see how the secure element worked, hence the reason that this all came as a shock. So the result is that many are now calling for the code to be open-sourced. Indeed, I think that this is one of the only ways in which users can fully verify the security of the device.
That's fucking terrifying. Excuse my language, that's terrifying. So, for anybody that doesn't know, Ledger didn't have an open source code. Now that they're going to open source this, and they're doing this sharding thing, and they've just let everybody on the planet know that they're allowed or they're able to extract your seed phrase regardless if it's encrypted or sharded or whatever. I'm pretty sure the best hackers in the world will have no issue getting into your Ledger. So my shit's not getting plugged in until this whole thing blows over, or I plug it in to just send my shit out, because I don't know. This is very concerning.
As they say, don't trust, verify. And this is also one of the reasons as to why I have always preferred Trezor's over Ledger's. Trezor's code is open source, and hence there's no room for confusion as to how the devices operate. Moreover, they have the option to generate more than one seed phrase through their Shamir backup. Now, I've talked about this in much more...
Well, that's interesting. Who uses a Trezor here? Put a 1 in the chat if you use a Trezor. I want to know, because I don't know, like, I've heard good and bad things about them, about pretty much every hardware wallet. There's always something somebody has to complain about. But I don't know, man. It's so, like, the fact that a hardware wallet can even shard your seed phrase, I feel like all of these can now do it, right? At the end of the day, again, it's software, but it was never in my brain until this whole Ledger thing came out. So I feel like they put every hardware wallet in a shitty situation. At least that's my opinion. I don't know what you guys think about it, but yeah, put a 1 in the chat if you guys use Trezor. I would like to know.
Detail in my Trezor video, but it basically allows contingencies for seed loss without having to hand over seed phrases to the manufacturer or third-party custodians. That said, open source is no silver bullet. By opening your code to the world, you're also opening it up to all those who may want to exploit it.
I promise you I haven't watched this video, but this is literally what I just said.
Moreover, most Trezor users don't read the code that's being pushed before choosing to upgrade. I can't read firmware code myself, and I am going to have to hope that the white hat hackers out there are better at auditing it than the black hats are.
Very true.
So there is still an element of trust needed in third parties. I'll also add that Trezor devices are vulnerable to what are termed high-voltage glitching attacks. Now, I won't go into the specifics of those here, but I will link to a handy video by Kraken Security Labs that discovered the exploit. The caveat here, though, is that such an attack requires physical access to the device, as well as the tools and technical know-how to execute it. And if you're looking for any other wallet alternatives, then you could consider a fully air-gapped kind. These are hardware wallets that have absolutely no connection to any network or PC, be it through Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, USB, etc. They operate independently, and all transactions are signed via a QR code. Now, one of the better wallets of this variety is the Engrave Zero, which we have reviewed before. And we also have a 10% discount on the Engrave device for Coin Bureau viewers.
He's so polite when he shills stuff. It's actually funny. It's great. I've never heard of this wallet. Have you guys heard of this? Engrave Zero? I've never heard of that. I do have, like, the EliPal. This one. I have this. Let's see. Hold on. I have this one that I haven't even used yet. Or this one, the Titan Mini. So I got the Titan and the Titan Mini. I want to try these out, but again, I was ripping through wallets, like what, pros and cons of all of them, and I found bad things about every one of them. I'm not gonna lie, every single friggin' wallet. So it could just be hearsay. I don't know. Nothing's personally happened to me on any of these wallets, but just, yeah, I don't know. I would like to know what this one's all about, though. I have never heard of this. Let me know if you guys have heard of this in the chat.
Which we have reviewed before. And we also have a 10% discount on the engraved device for Coin Bureau viewers, which you can take advantage of with the link down there in the description. I will note, though, that the code is also closed source, so there is another element of base-level trust in the firmware updates. Although the team apparently intends to release a roadmap for open sourcing their code, so you can keep an eye out for that. There are
real quick, Mr. Crypto 440, so the LEPAL is not it does not come with that seed phrase thing, the encrypted like stainless steel seed phrase holder or whatever. That sorry, why did I say encrypted? It's more or less you just put like 4 letters in of your first word on the seed phrase, or every word in the seed phrase. It goes into this little stainless steel thing. You can purchase it on LEPAL's website. It doesn't come with the wallet though, so it's like 2 separate purchases.
A host of other hardware wallets you could consider as well, and I'll leave links to all the videos and articles that we have on them in the description too. Now, I would personally suggest buying more than one and spreading your coins across them. Diversification isn't only useful when it comes to the assets that you're buying, but also how you're storing them.
I agree, 100%.
So this brings me to the big question of what this means for Ledger, us users, and the hardware wallet sector more broadly. Well, I think the first and most important lesson that anyone can take from this is the importance of crystal clear communication from crypto companies about what exactly can and absolutely cannot be done with their products. This is especially the case with a product like a ledger, which people rely on to store their crypto wealth. You cannot allow the technicality of a device and its mechanisms to justify the omission of relevant information. The misconception that, quote, keys never leave the secure element had become so ingrained that it was almost inevitably going to cause pandemonium when the truth came to light. When it comes to the recover feature itself, well, I would advise against using it or upgrading your devices.
100%.
Indeed, at the time of recording this video, it appears as if Ledger had already rolled back the initial firmware upgrade.
Womp womp. That's crazy, huh? It's so nuts that they saw this big a backlash. But I mean, for them, I hate scrolling back, I apologize, but for them to post this in November, literally saying, hi, your private keys never leave the secure element chip, which has never been hacked. The secure element is third-party certified and is the same technology as used in passports and credit cards. A firmware update cannot extract the private keys from the secure element. And then literally 3 months later, they go ahead and say that we can shard your wallet and extract your seed phrase in 3 different encryptions and go to 3 different companies, and they will not release the third goddamn company. It's sketchy and weird, and it really makes me not trust Ledger. Just my opinion.
The initial firmware upgrade. Perhaps they've taken their users' feedback into consideration and ditched the upgrade entirely. We shall see.
Smart.
Either way, this whole hoo-ha has opened our eyes as to how hardware wallets work and whether they were always as secure as we had believed. If there is closed source code, an element of trust has to exist. Trust that firmware upgrades are not being pushed that could one day threaten the security of our assets. Perhaps Ledger will go down the open source path, but, well, I wouldn't count on it. They've already shown that this isn't something that they're keen on doing. Even then, open sourcing code has its own risks. And unless you plan to personally audit the code, well, there are still elements of trust you need to have in the broader community. However, I think the most important thing that was exposed by this fiasco is the constant battle between usability, practicality, and security. There's no doubt that paper seeds are far from ideal. You have to make sure that you don't lose that paper, or worse, that it falls into the wrong hands. This is something that most new users won't fully appreciate. For the next 100 million crypto users, perhaps they will want the option to restore a wallet without having to rely on the paper seed. But that is something that should be completely up to the user. They should not have to rely on third-party service providers that use their ID information. Perhaps a system akin to Trezor's Shamir backup would have been a better option.
That's weird. So this is how Trezor does it? It has 3 different seed phrases? That's kind of neat. But all right, so real quick, before he gets off the topic of the paper seed phrase thing, this is the EliPal thing that Crypto 440 was asking about. So it's 59 bucks for a peace of mind, and you just kind of put like the first four. So like it's separated by this little bracket here in the middle, kind of. You can kind of see, but it's the first four letters in each seed phrase. So it's labeled like it has 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way around. Oh, it's right here. 1, 2, 3. It's kind of hard to see. Yeah, you can't really see it, to be honest. It's kind of dark, but regardless, right there, 1, 2, 3, right? So it just first four letters in the words of your seed phrase all the way up to 24. And this thing's like fireproof, crush proof, waterproof. Like it's not gonna rust, melt. Like it's pretty sick. So for 59 bucks, it's a nice peace of mind, at least in my opinion. But yeah, you guys can get it there. I don't have any affiliation, but I'll put I probably do, but I don't really care. I'm not gonna look for it. Here's just the normal website if you guys are interested in checking out that seed phrase holder. I mean, not that it matters if they can just take it anyways, but okay, continue.
But then again, is this user-friendly, especially for new users? Do these users still want to hold paper backups? That's not something that I can answer. And it all points to a problem that afflicts the whole crypto industry. The user experience is still a long way from being anything close to good enough. Whatever the case, the last thing we want is new users reverting to holding their funds on exchanges because they find self-custody too complicated.
100%.
Companies that make these devices should be trying to find solutions that make self-custody simple and user-friendly for all. But it should never come at the expense of the sole purpose of the device.
100%.
That's my 2 cents, at least.
I love this guy.
Well, I hope you folks found this video helpful. I'm keen to get your thoughts on the matter now, though. What do you think of this debacle? Have you considered other hardware wallets, and if so, which ones? Let me know in the...
That's a good. That's actually a good question. Shout out to a guy from Coin Bureau. But yeah, if you guys use any specific wallets, please let me know down in the comments below. I'd like to know what you guys use, because I do want to get a different one. I know some people said SafePal, so let me bring that up. So the only thing that's kind of weird about SafePal, I'm not saying it's bad or anything. I think it's actually a pretty cool wallet. I really do like it. So it's right here, right? Let me pull this up. There we go. All right. So this is more or less, you can take your Ledger seed phrase and recover it inside the SafePal. That's my issue with it. How safe is it if that can be done? If that's what you're doing with it. The same seed phrase for your Ledger can go into this one. That's what I've heard. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I've heard. 50 bucks. This thing's pretty sweet. I like it. You know, it's got a screen. It's I think you just, I don't know. Do you have to, yeah, it's got an app. I don't know if it's Wi-Fi or not, to be honest. I have no idea. But regardless, this thing's pretty sweet. Just the whole Ledger thing, taking your Ledger keys and putting them into this thing, and it reloads the, you know, all your ish. Is it safer than the Ledger? I don't know. I know Taines has one. Taines, how do you feel about it, buddy? Is that weird? Is that weird that it can do that? Or did you know it could do that? Some people don't even know that. So I don't know. Yeah, don't do that. It says financial failure. Guys, hit the like button. Appreciate it. We have 92 people here, 30 likes. You guys are awesome. All right, let's see. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's cool that this thing can do DeFi stuff, and you can kind of just, you know, have your Ledger in your safe and your SafePal in your pocket, or that's what, like, you know, that was kind of the cool thing about it before the whole Ledger thing became not so safe. So yeah, I don't know. You should create new private keys, says Chris. Yeah, absolutely. I agree too. But how good is this company? I don't even know. I don't know anything about this company personally. So I'm going to have to do some digging on this. Our mission is to empower everyone to own their crypto future. See, I want to know if they go through crazy updates, kind of like Ledger. But I don't know. People unlock their crypto potential, grow their wealth. Yeah, I don't care. This is just all. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if this is too relevant, but just in general, I don't know. You guys pick what you want. Again, SafePal, EliPal, those are some wallets that I'm going to be looking into personally, because I think this whole thing is kind of, it really sucks. It really sucks. Let's put it that way. I would love to see a video on turning old phones into hardware wallets. That's kind of interesting. I wonder if Yeti could even do that, or if somebody could do that in the space. That'd be kind of neat. All right, so I guess not beating a dead horse, but if anybody just actually joined, let me see if I have Twitter up still. Do I? I do. Right here, this is the, if anybody didn't see it, this is the Ledger has announced it will pause the rollout of its recover service. So this is the entire point of me going through this whole Ledger thing again. It's crazy to know that they come out, scare the shit out of everybody, see this insane amount of backlash, and then they decide to pause it. But pausing the recover service, the people that still updated, are you affected by it? If I were you, I would go out and tweet this. Let me throw this in the chat if you guys are interested. Retweet that. I think everybody should see that. Coin Bureau put it out. But I mean, again, guys like BitBoy, you know, Ben Armstrong, regardless how you feel about him, again, he's the biggest YouTube channel in the space. It's one of those things. We no longer support Ledger. Like, that is, this could potentially kill this company. Like, hands down, this could kill this company. I mean, it's got 97.7 thousand views, and it's, you know, it's spreading like wildfire. Everybody's pissed off about it. But it's just weird to me. Like, everybody that already did the upgrade, right? Does it matter that they paused it? The rollout of its recover service, right? So I understand that it's an opt-in option, but if you updated, did it already give your Ledger the access to, like, spit these shards out, regardless if you're going to pay the $10 a month or not? Like, does it still take it and you just don't know it because you don't pay for it? Is that, am I missing something? Are you guys understanding what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Nerd Beast said he didn't finish the sentence. We no longer support Ledger unless they pay us. all right. I know how people feel about Ben, but again, at the end of the day, he's got to make his money. So I understand, you know, sponsors, but yes, you shouldn't sponsor or get sponsored by certain people. It's just, you don't know who's a shill until they're actually, or a scam until they're actually a scam. Kind of like the whole FTX thing, right? Like, him and a few other people got dragged into it, and it sucks. It's unfortunate. You never knew it was going to happen. It seemed legit, but whatever. He's the king of sellout. All right. We're not going to talk about Ben anymore, but just regardless, I just wanted to show that tweet. I think it was, it made sense. You know what I mean? All right, let me see what else you guys are saying in the chat. So the poll that I actually have up, I just ended it. So let's see. We had 94% of you said no. We had 95 votes. 5% say yes, you did update. So that's my concern. Even if you didn't opt into it, or I don't know, like if you didn't, when it goes to update, okay, do you have to click yes, you're opting in, or did you just have to agree to the update and then at a later point you opt in? Like, how does that work? I don't even know. I haven't plugged mine in to check, and I'm not doing it. It just scares the crap out of me. So let me know in the chat when you guys went and upgraded this. How did it go about? I would like to know. I wish there was like a video. Yeti, if you can do me a favor, can you check real quick to see if you could find anybody updating a Ledger Live anywhere on YouTube or Twitter or just somewhere so I could see? But anyways, all right, without further ado, let's get into Crypto World's video yesterday. They kind of go over just like topics. Right now it says Bitcoin bounced back above 27,000, but again, it's under 26 right now. International Watchdog unveils crypto rules. So I wanted to see what this was all about. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but while we're doing that, I'm going to see if I can find anything on updating the Ledger, like on a video. And I want to see if it, like, what the steps are, what it asks. It's just kind of neat to me. But all right, let's get back into this. Let's see what they got to say.
Today, crypto gets its first set of global rules from the International Organization of Securities Commissions. Hong Kong will soon start accepting license applications for crypto exchanges to operate in the region. And Mike Brock of TBD breaks down the firm's new Web 5 identity platform from Bitcoin 2023. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Jordan Smith. Crypto prices in the green across the board today. Bitcoin surpassed the $27,000 level once again. Ether traded higher above $1,800, and the Matic token also jumped more than 2%, all as of noon Eastern. All right, let's talk about the top stories. Reuters dropped a new report this morning alleging that Binance commingled customer funds with company revenue, breaking U.S. financial rules that require customer money to be kept separate. In this report, Reuters cited 3 sources familiar with the matter who claimed that the alleged commingling happened in 2020 and 2021. One of the sources reportedly said the sums ran into billions of dollars and that the commingling happened almost daily in accounts the crypto exchange held at Silvergate Bank. Reuters reported that it couldn't independently verify the figures or their frequency, but that the news outlet did review a bank record allegedly showing that in February 2021, Binance mixed $20 million from a corporate account with $15 million from an account that received customer money. 3 former U.S. regulators reportedly told Reuters that those money flows at Binance indicate a lack of internal controls to ensure customer funds were clearly identifiable and separate from company revenue, and that the alleged commingling put customer assets at risk by obscuring their whereabouts. Now, Reuters noted that it found no evidence that Binance client monies were lost or taken. We reached out to the DOJ, CFTC, and SEC to see if those agencies are investigating the claims presented in the Reuters report. An SEC spokesperson told us the agency doesn't comment on the existence or non-existence of a possible investigation. A CFTC spokesperson declined to comment, and we didn't hear back from the DOJ right away.
Okay, don't care. Sorry. Hold on. Mr. Yeti gave me a video, and I think this is more important. This is about the Ledger thing. So let's listen to this quick, and then we can go back to Crypto World if you guys are interested. But I don't know what this is. This was posted 6 days ago. Just gonna skip forward to this quick comment section right here. All right, I don't know who this guy is, but I'm gonna put a link to his channel in the description below after this. Oh, I muted him. God damn it. Hold on. Unmute. There we go.
One thing I also want to point out too, at the beginning of the recording of this video, I wanted to show you how to update.
Hold on. I'm just gonna put it at the beginning so we can watch this intro.
Hey all, Matt here with Crypto Blick. Hope you're having a fantastic day today. Well, today I'm going to show you how to update the apps on your Ledger Nano X. If that sounds good to you, let's hop in and let's make it happen. One thing I also want to point out too, at the beginning of the recording of this video, I wanted to show you how to update the firmware, but I had already done that on my Nano X, so there wasn't a new update available. But if you are curious, the banner will pop up on your Ledger Live for you, letting you know that there is a new firmware available for your Nano X. So just wanted to make that clear in case you guys came here to this video to see how to update the firmware. I'm going to show you how to update the app.
All right, I'm gonna scroll forward quick. Update apps. Install more apps. So this is like an update apps thing though. Oh, like right here, Yeti. Check firmware and software versions. Maybe we'll skip forward to that. Let's just see.
At the top, you're going to come to About, and then right here, version Ledger Live 2.57.0. You can see the details in terms of what was the most recent fixes. We are good here. It is up to date.
I gotta open up Discord quick. Mr. UK Miners Club's asking me to check something.
You will see a banner pop up at the top of your Ledger Live up here saying, hey, there is a new update available. Make sure to update it. But right now you can see mine is updated just fine. And that is how you update your Ledger Nano X. If you have any questions, leave them in the...
No, that didn't work. Update apps. Let's see.
Okay, so you can see all the different crypto blockchains that I have, or as the official term is, apps, here on my Nano X. Your device is genuine. I've got 2.1.0.
I want to know what's the firmware update when you update to that the new Ledger BS. I don't know if this video is going to show it, Yeti, exactly what we wanted to see, to be honest. Let me see what you guys are saying. Let's see. So he wasn't updating the right firmware. I don't think so. I think he was just updating the app. But this is 6 days ago, so that's kind of weird if he's not doing the right thing. Yeah, it doesn't make much sense. Let me know if you find anything else, Yeti. And we're gonna continue with the CNBC BS. Sorry guys, didn't mean to like jump around on you. I wanted to see if that thing was important because I really want to know how the update works. Financial Failure said, I think he doesn't have the vulnerable version. 2.21. Hold on, 2.21. Okay, let me see. What did he have? Where the hell am I? Right here. He had... Oh yeah, he has 2.1.0. It's kind of hard to see, but... Weird. Let me just double check. Where is he? What is that? Oh, hold on. Following the release of Stake 2.0, it's no longer possible to stake Tron. Oh, that's just weird. That's 2.57. That's Ledger Live, though. Yeah, I don't know. All right, whatever. Anyways, let me know if you find anything else, Yeti, because that would be very interesting to know. Let's continue with this, and then we will jump back into that. And UK Miners Club, I see that. We could. This is kind of neat. Someone converted a Game Boy into an iconic, or whatever, a hardware wallet. I don't know how the hell that even works. That's weird as hell.
In a statement posted on Twitter, the chief strategy officer for Binance called the report, quote, weak and full of conspiracy theories with, quote, zero evidence other than a former insider. Next, the International Organization of Securities Commissions unveiled the first global approach to regulating crypto today, and they pulled from lessons learned from the FTX collapse that sparked concerns over consumer protection. The proposed standards include dealing with market manipulation, cross-border regulatory cooperation, custody of crypto assets, and treatment of retail customers. The 18 measures proposed apply long-established safeguards from mainstream markets to prevent conflicts of interest between different parts of a crypto transaction. The International Securities Watchdog aims to finalize standards by the end of the year, and it expects its 130 members worldwide to use the guidelines to plug gaps in their rulebooks. Last, Hong Kong will let crypto firms register to serve retail investors starting next month. According to an announcement from the Hong Kong Securities and Futures Commission, new regulatory guidelines for crypto trading platforms will go into effect on June 1st, and those guidelines lay out custody requirements, rules on clear segregation of client assets, and more. Applications for licenses also launch on June 1st, and the SFC says platforms who don't apply should plan on leaving the region. Now, Hong Kong's influence in the crypto space has been growing as it's become more friendly to crypto businesses, despite a crypto crackdown in mainland China. All right, on to our last big interview from Bitcoin 2023, this time with Mike Brock of Block's decentralized platform division, TBD. Brock explains the company's new Web 5 identity platform, but how did we jump from Web 3 to Web 5? He explains.
So Mike, one of the big initiatives of the TBD team that you lead is working on Web 5. Where did Web 4 go? How did we jump from Web 3 to Web 5? Break it down for somebody who doesn't understand what this means.
Well, look, I mean, we were trying to be a little bit funny when we came out with the word Web 5, and it was ultimately we used that term to draw attention to what we thought was just a lot of froth and no substance in this industry that was calling itself Web 3. We really wanted to send a message that people would notice that decentralization does not equal blockchain. Now, obviously, we're here at a Bitcoin conference, and which uses the blockchain, and we're obviously big supporters of Bitcoin, but we actually think that decentralization is a whole series of different technologies that need to be developed. In particular, we are fundamentally focused on trying to decentralize identity on the internet that we see as incredibly centralized today.
And that's something that is like a part of the announcements that came out just this week. Can you break those down for us?
Yeah, so we're launching our Web 5 development kit this week to let developers start looking at what we've been working on these past few years at TBD. We're super excited for there to be a closer look at what we think is going to be a foundational technology for enabling a whole new class of decentralized applications around identity solutions. We think that the internet needs a new identity layer. We're still using what's called DNS today. Everyone knows, CNBC.com, block.xyz. I mean, that's the current identity layer for the internet, and it's all around securing websites at the end of the day. We need a way to secure our identity online that we can own without having to export that ownership to other companies, larger, big fintech companies, even like ourselves, or even larger platform companies in Silicon Valley. We don't think that's healthy for competition. We think that a competitive marketplace needs an open protocol for identity on the internet. And so Web 5 is really bringing together a series of open protocols, starting with DID, the Decentralized Identity Protocol, which is actually before the Open Web Standards Body, the W3C, and we're also working on the Verifiable Credentials Standard, which is before the Decentralized Identity Foundation. All this stuff is open, there's nothing proprietary here, and we think that's really important for decentralization. And so that's what we're focused on right now.
You mentioned frothiness in the Web3 space. One of the big critiques is that there aren't, some people feel that there aren't really very many real world use cases. So with the digital identity side of things, what are we seeing actively put to use today?
Yeah, I actually think this space is actually really interesting, and there's a lot of there's actually a lot more happening in the decentralized identity space than a lot of people give credit to. There are pilot programs that are happening with government here in the United States at the state level. Digital driver's licenses in California, Texas. There's a pilot program, British Columbia in Canada. There's also a DID, verifiable credential, pilot program with the TSA for TSA Pre, and also the Department of Homeland Security for immigration documents. And they're all using the same standards that like Web 5 is like working on. So these are real standards that even government is looking at. When we think that's great, obviously, if government wants to embrace decentralized standards, we think that's good for America. It's good for competition, and it's fundamentally good for consumer privacy because these are privacy-preserving technologies, and they provide a identity layer that will allow, I think, a whole new class of applications that hasn't been possible today. So the applications are real and they're happening, and we're happy to be at the forefront of that. And Web 5 is really about trying to push a set of developer technologies that makes it super simple for developers to pick up these protocols and start using them and putting them into applications and accepting these credentials, issuing these credentials, and ultimately like moving towards something that I think will provide a more competitive marketplace, a more secure marketplace, and particularly in the age of AI, where there's going to be increasing worries about the provenance of data, impersonation of individuals on the internet. We think these sorts of technologies are going to be critical for proving identity. And we don't really have a good answer for that today. Most people are using their email address on the internet as their identity, and I don't think that's going to be sufficient given the risks that we're now facing in a world of deep fakes and video and audio and chatbots, and like that can like come very close to simulating even our dearest family members. And we've already seen examples of this. Like, I believe a wife was of a man was tricked by a deepfake audio of her husband over the phone, and like that led to, I think, a pretty significant loss of funds for her. So those are the sorts of things that we really worry about today. As we look at AI, and I look at Web 5 as a foundational technology that can actually be an answer to providing a signal of provenance that you're dealing with the person you think you're dealing with, that the video or audio asset that you're looking at on the internet it came from where it claims to have come from, because you can use DIDs and verifiable credentials to indicate, through mutual trusted third parties that is what it proclaims to be. And I think there's going to be a lot of people racing in the next 2 to 3 years as we see these threats rise for something like this. And I think the Web 5 technology is like primed to be something that people can pick up and start using to build those sorts of solutions. And we're very excited about how the ecosystem is coming together.
Yeah. So last question for you. We're at Bitcoin Miami. Attendance is down from 35,000 to around 12,000 people. We're in the midst of a bear market. What brings you back this year?
Look, I still believe that in the potential of Bitcoin to be an incredible force for good in the world. Bitcoin enables real people today to transact where digital transactions are simply not possible, particularly in the global south and in Africa and South America. Bitcoin has become a really important technology also as a remittance asset. We're obviously leaning into that at TBD. We think that Bitcoin is a great answer for moving money around the world in ways that is currently not possible today because for various reasons. Sometimes it's just because the infrastructure doesn't exist in different parts of the world. And it's also a real trust layer that is, I think, is like unmatched in terms of how decentralized it is and how secure it is. And look, I mean, some people will say we're in a bear market right now. I think all this Web3 stuff that, you know, we started off this conversation saying that Web5 was about kind of making fun of, I feel like has kind of fizzled away, and I think that's one of the reasons why the attendance is down. But I think the core builders in this space who understand the potential of this technology are still here at this conference this year. They're still building. They're not paying attention to the price day to day, and they're fundamentally focused on unlocking those use cases that are fundamentally going to improve people's lives, and that's what we're doing, and that's why we're here.
All right, that's all for.
All right. Sorry to bore like 90% of people that decided to leave during that. You guys are awesome anyways, everybody that stuck through it. So, all right, let's see. Mr. UK Miners Club, you sent this over. This is a kind of funny little article. It says Game Boy owners can soon convert iconic devices into secure hardware wallets, which is kind of funny. It's weird though, right? It says in the near future, Game Boy owners will have the opportunity to convert their devices into hardware wallets for cryptocurrencies. The project, known as the Game Wallet, was unveiled by Joseph so-and-so, a developer hailing from KeyP, if that's how you say that, a Web3 startup. By employing a physical cartridge, this innovation enables users to harness the power of their Nintendo Game Boy devices and secure cold storage wallets for crypto assets. That's kind of neat, huh? That's kind of neat. Can I? This is funny. Man, I had one of these and I have zero idea what happened to it when I was a kid. It disappeared. I have no idea. Someone probably stole it. Damn it. But I have a different Game Boy. I think I have like the advanced, but that's funny. They're going to create a cartridge for that. That's neat. Very, very neat. What do you guys think about that in the chat? I think it's I don't know, pretty cool overall. All right, anyways, guys, sorry to bore you with the CNBC stuff at the end, but I do think that that is important to know, that all this Ledger stuff that's going on, it's you know, to each his own. Be safe. Don't update anything. I would just wait, let it roll you know, roll out past where it's at now and kind of see what things are going to turn into before you guys freak out. But it's definitely concerning. It's very concerning, and I would like to know what wallets you guys are using. Please leave it down in the comments below after the fact if you're watching this later. Iowa Crypto Mining, appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for being here. Good morning. Great. I wonder if my Sega Game Gear will have support. Ninja Kid, that was the best. Sega, the Game Gear, I haven't heard that in so long. I haven't seen one of those in a minute. That's crazy. That's crazy if they did that. Imagine. I doubt it though. Let's see. I love your face when you read my comments. The Joker Miner, you're a creep. You know that? Goddamn creep. Who said I love Ledger? Get out. Retro Mike Tech, get out of here. You're not important. Actually, you know what, Retro Mike Tech, I clipped what you said yesterday about Dynex in the what's it called? Hawk and King stream. Let me see if I can grab the clip. I want to show it because I think it was very, very interesting. Let me open this real quick. Copy link. See if I can put this in here and I'll play it for you guys. All right, let's see. This is Retro Mike Tech, by the way. If you guys didn't know, it's Handsome Devil down on the bottom. But listen to this about Dynex. I thought this was super interesting. And by the way, Retro Mike Tech does have his own channel. I'll put a link to it in the chat, or Patrick Murphy, if you could do that, please, that'd be amazing. But if not, I'll do it in a second. This was just insane to me to even hear. So listen to this.
I took a few test files of calculations and I ran them through the current top solver that is deemed the number one in the world, and I ran that same test file through Dynex.
Okay.
And on the smaller test files where there's not a lot of numbers to crunch, they were around the same performance. But on the complex files, I let the one solver run for 10.5 hours. It didn't find a solution. The Dynex one found the solution in 2 seconds.
Okay.
10.5 hours on the #1 program in the world. #1 program in the world. 10.5 hours he let that thing run It found it on the Dynex software in 2 minutes. That's insane. That like blew my mind. I had to watch the rest of the stream at like, what, 1.5 or whatever it was to catch back up because I was trying to clip this and I couldn't get it right to save my life. YouTube needs to upgrade that feature, but that clip alone was beyond impressive. I was like, holy hell. And Retro Mike, he's a stupid smart guy. So if you guys aren't subbed to him, go check him out, even though he's quite trolly. I still love him. Thanks for being here, buddy. You're awesome. All right, guys. I think that's going to be it, but 2 seconds, not 2 minutes. Sorry. What did I say? Oh, 2 seconds. Yeah. Sorry. That's what I meant. 2 seconds. My bad. Well, the Dynex thing. Yeah, my bad. I didn't even realize it said 2 minutes. But yeah, 2 seconds. That's incredible. I'll share this clip actually with you guys. Look at this. So feel free. That was in King and Hawk stream last night on TerraHash Tuesdays. So go like and sub to those guys as well. But anyways, hopefully you guys have a good Wednesday. Later on today, myself and Yeti, we're going to be deep dive Wednesdays into Nexa and Pigeon Coin, I guess. Freaking Retro Mike. God damn, after I just said you were awesome, I forgot we're doing Pigeon Coin because of you. All right? Just saying. But no, for real. It's Nexa and Pigeon Coin. We're gonna check out the wallets. We want to just kind of deep dive into the coins a little bit, see what the hell they are. And if you guys have another one, Pigeon's kind of it's probably not gonna take very long, but if there's another one we could squeeze in, we will. It's probably going to be around 3 p.m. I do have a meeting I have to be at 1, so I don't know what time I'll get back here, but it'll either be 2:30 Eastern Standard Time or 3 o'clock. So stay tuned for that. You guys are awesome. Retro Mike, it's okay. I still love you, buddy. You're awesome. Everybody else, Joker Miner, Yeti, thanks for being here. Geek of All Trades, Automatic Beats, Mr. Hobbyist, thanks for stopping by. Patrick Murphy, appreciate you for putting his link in the chat. Iowa Crypto Mining. Everybody else, love you guys. Have a good day. Happy Wednesday. Peace out.